Hello and welcome to the Sunbirdcrochet podcast. My name is Claudia and I'm coming to you from Germany. Today is Sunday and I'm here in a new to you location. This is my winter garden. Behind you I have a view of a big, well, it's not a fir tree, it's another sort of tree, but you know, the huge one with the squirrels in winter. And yeah, it's a sunny day outside and I think the light here is much better than in the other room or in the other side of the room. I'm still in my living room area. So let's talk about crochet and knitting. Today I have for you one finished object and one work in progress and tons of incoming. And it's not just for me, it's presents. I'm gathering things which I see and which I really love for my friends and family for Christmas and for birthdays. So don't worry, I'm not that greedy. So now let's start with finished objects. This is my crochet top. It doesn't fit Hildegard as much or as good as it does fit me because I'm a little bit wider than Hildegard. So I'm going to show you up here a photo of me wearing this top. And if you're following me on Instagram and here on YouTube, then you already know which pattern this is. It's the top by Crochet Cakes, who's Elizabeth, and the pattern is called the Lazy Polka Dot Top. There it is. And she's modeling it much more fashionable than I could ever do. So yeah, but what can I tell you about the making process of this? First of all, I ordered my yarn, which is a bamboo cotton with a bit of polyacryl or acrylic yarn, all mixed together to form a very, let me show you. It's this yarn here. It's from Schöller and Stahl. It's 40% viscose from bamboo, 30% cotton yarn and 30% polyacryl, which is acrylic. And it's actually made in Serbia and comes from Schöller Handstrickgarne in Limburg an der Lahn in Germany. So there you go, all these ways things go. I bet you that the bamboo doesn't come from Serbia, neither the cotton or the polyacryl. Anyhow, let's not get into supply chains. This is meant for a 2.5 to a 3.5 millimeter hook size. I was using a 3.0 millimeter hook size, which gave me perfect gauge. So the largeness of this is not due to gauge. And yeah, 400 meters per 100 grams. So this is a fingering weight yarn. And I bought 9 balls of yarn, which is about double the amount I actually needed because I can't do maths in my head. And even so, I can tell you that I've got, let me just count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6.5 balls of yarn I've got left over from 9. So it took me 2.5 balls of yarn to make this top. How crazy is this? This is unusual for crochet. For crochet. Usually the crochet has the reputation to eat up yarn double as quick as knitting would, but not with this top apparently. The yarn doesn't have any stretch because of the cotton. But it has a lovely drape. The fabric which it creates has a lovely drape. And I'm loving it. I'm loving the color. The working with it was not as enjoyable because of a lack of give. But I'm loving the result. I will wear it, probably over a blouse. I should have made the panels, it's worked in panels, front panels and the back panel. I should have made the panels longer to start with, so that it would also cover my midriff, but my hope is that with a bit of wet blocking, which I haven't done yet, that it will grow in length. So thumbs up for Clarissa Burf's pattern, and I hope that you will support her. She gives you lots of video tutorials, and she also has a Discord channel, so there's lots of chat available. And I bet that if you have any questions about her designs, then you can contact her. She will help you with it. So there you go, that's the lazy polka dot top. My finished object. Oh, and this was my entry for the Summer of Romance Cal 2024, so this year's entry. It ended in August and now we are in the middle of September, so I'm just like half a month late. My couple which I had chosen was Beatrice and Benedict from Much Ado About Nothing, and I still highly recommend watching this, although we are now all in the mood for Halloween and spooky movies, or if not that, then lots of pumpkin romance things. Well, if you are like me. Yesterday I watched Hocus Pocus for the 1000th time, probably. Anyhow, let's move on to works in progress. I have a new project which you haven't seen before. The Summer of Romance Cal made me think about my first ever Summer of Romance Cal contribution, which had been a shawl. I'm going to put up a photo here. And back then, and I think it was 2018, but I think it was because the plan was to go online. There is a website which I don't have a link anymore, but there was a fortune cookie which you had to draw virtually, and then it would give you like whatever the fortune cookie says, and you would have to make your project from that. And I think it was it based on a couple? However, I did my entry making this shoulder wrap. I had seen the shoulder wraps made by Adinda, and there's another one. They actually had a lawsuit because the one thought the other would copy from them. However, that's a side tangent. They are really colorful and nothing which you would wear going outside in public, I think. Unless it's a crazy summer party of kind. And so back to my project. Back then, in 2018, I made this shoulder wrap, and it was based on Frida Kahlo. I made lots of flowers on it and little bubbles and ruffles. And in the center there was a heart with a ruffle around it, and I made a wooden brooch with a decoupage technique. I put on a picture of Frida Kahlo. So that was my entry. I think I might have won something with it, actually. Maybe. And yeah, I showed it to my colleague back then, and she loved it so much that I gifted it to her. Slight regret. Not because of a colleague, but I wish I still would have it. Another side story, if you're interested. The project actually had prompted me to contact one of my oldest friends. There are just some people in the world you don't want to be without, and he was one of them. And so my saying, needless to say, in this fortune cookie was, romance is likely. Yeah. So all these thoughts about old projects and romances, things like that, made me think that I really want to make another one of these shoulder shawls. And so I started making a panel. I started with a chain 4, and then I made 2 more. I worked into the first chain so that it's 3 double crochets, US terms. And from then onwards, I made double crochets rows, and on one side I always increased in the last stitch, and if I would work backwards, on the first stitch by 2 stitches. So that way my my shoulder wrap was growing on one side. Once I had reached a certain size, I made a little bit of a center panel, and then I decreased by the same amount of stitches. And so that was my base, which I could work on. So this is what I was working on. And then I decided to put all these little bubbles on here, which are a kind of afterthought bubble. As you can see, I haven't yet woven in the ends. I still have to do that. But you basically make a bubble and you tie it, you thread the yarn ends through, and then you make a double knot on the other side. So there I've made all these bubbles. Then I've created a border below, like here, with some leftover sock yarn I had, color changing sock yarn. Not too happy with it. And then I made some arches here below, and with the red I've made a little ruffle border, and I also did some surface slip stitches along here, and I've also added some flowers here and here. So this is the state of my shoulder wrap. Very romantic. At the moment I'm working on these tiny bubbles here. I want to make them all down here. They don't take much time, but it was late last night and I was quite tired enough to go into bed. If you are interested in me showing you how to make these flowers, then I could make a tutorial. Just let me know. It's not very difficult, but it might be easier to show you instead of telling you how to do it. So now this is a shoulder wrap, which is already quite big, but I came up with I need a kind of statement for it, much like the heart with a ruffled edge. I am now freestyling a banner, and I've started. I was watching the night of the proms, or last night of the proms last night, And while I was doing that, I was freestyling some letters. I want to make a banner saying Viva la vida, which is Spanish for celebrate life, or hooray, life kind of thing, which is associated with Frida Kahlo as well. If you haven't noticed yet, I'm a huge fan of Frida Kahlo, or at least the aesthetics. Now, I've made this panel, and it should say Viva and not Aviv. Looking at it, I think it's like a mirror for me, but I hope it's the right way around for you. And I made little flowers in between so that the letters would give the letters a bit of a sturdiness. So there are little flowers there and little in-between things. This is the first panel, and obviously there's going to come la and then vida. And I am thinking about adding it not at the bottom, but here at the top, like there, sewing onto it and then making another ruffled edge or something like that. So what do you think? Super kitschy, I know, super kitschy. But come on, the girl in you wants one as well. So that's my question. Do you want to make one? Shall I make little tutorials of what I'm doing? I mean, something which can be repeated, like these bubbles and flowers. Is that something you would be interested in? Obviously not this one, because that's like freestyle, and I couldn't make the exactly same thing at all. But yeah, let me know what you would like, or if you think, you know, I'm going to pass that, and that's fine as well with me. But I think this might be wearable to a fiesta or a kind of festival, or a dress-up party as Frida Kahlo. Are you planning something like that for Halloween? A dress-up, a costume thing? I think I'm watching too much of Rachel Maxey. That's a channel I would like to recommend if you are not stressed out by people who are talking fast and who are sidetracking all the time in their mind. And yeah, she's very much a squirrel person, but I love her ideas. She's very creative, and I think Clarissa, if you're watching her as well, I think you mentioned her channel before, so yeah, maybe the channel was suggested to me because you're watching it. Who knows? But I'm enjoying it. Just this morning I was watching her making a Shakespearean trousers, like these poofy things, and she looked like a borrower with acorn shoulders and like a harness made of acorn. Well, it looks like acorn, but she's making it out of materials which she's buying as a cosplayer. Side tangent. Back to the story. Crochet and knitting. Well, you saw my finished object, you saw my work in progress. Yeah, which leaves incoming. Well, where to start? Where to start? There's quite a lot. I have got, again, first of all, I'm following Fräulein Jansen. She used to be on Etsy. But apparently Etsy is taking too much surcharge from the makers, and so she closed her shop there. And now if you want to buy socks from her, then you have to message her directly on Instagram. Fräulein Jansen. Sylvia is her first name. And I bought a pair of socks from her. Gorgeous ones. I would never be able to do these and she is the best sock knitter in the world, the best the best sock knitter I know, at least. So the cuff is very stretchy, the color work is beautiful. I would tell you the name of this pattern if I could use my phone, but I'm recording on my phone, so I will editing me put up the name of this sock pattern. It has here on the top, it has a different pattern than here on the foot, and then there is a little flower on the heel. So this is a real challenge for sock knitting people, I would think. This looks like a twisted rib here on the heel, and I don't know which wool she was using, but it's so soft. I haven't put these on yet because I wanted them to be pristine, but I am in fact wearing another pair of her socks right now. I paid some money, but really you would be surprised how little I paid for it. I think, considering all the time she needs to make one, she's selling this off because she loves making socks, not because she wants to earn tons of money with it. So I saw these on her Instagram account. She just had finished them, and she said size 38-39, and I said, oh, these are beautiful. And she told me, could be yours if you want to, just send me a message. And I said, oh yes, please. So there I am. Beautiful socks. Danke, Silvia, if you're watching this. So this is the first incoming thing. Then I talked about the upcoming MCAL by Stephen West knits. It's going to start at the beginning of October. I've already bought the pattern and I've bought the yarn, and the yarn has arrived. I didn't buy a kit from Stephen. I bought a kit from, well, it's not a kit. I bought yarn from Das Mondschaf, and I put the colors together as I thought I would like them. So I bought my two main colors. My two main colors are TARDIS and the Wall. This is a different blue than my jumper, as you can see. This does indeed look like Doctor Who, the TARDIS. And this is not just a light gray. It has some shine to it in purples and blues in between the grays. I just don't know if that's possible to see on the camera. That's really pretty. And I've got, I've wound the first ball of each color up. There it is. So I've balled those up and I'm ready to go. I really love these colors. This year's colors are meant to be quite a lot of contrast, so I think there will be like a geometric design. The MCAL, the shawl is called Go Go Dynamo, so yeah, I'm excited. Also, usually there's a mohair there, and this time I got a glittery yarn, which you held together, you're holding together with one of the colors. I would think the blue. And come to think of it, I think I told you last time, but I was only showing you the photos of it. And this is Kremke Soul Wool, and it's Stellaris, 47% viscose, 41% polyester, 12% metallic yarn, which is 560 meters per 25 gram. So there you go. It's beautiful glittery yarn, which I'm going to hold together with the TARDIS yarn. That's incoming, ready to start, beginning of October. Now, das Mondschaf, she put into my parcel, my box, an advertisement for Munich Knits. That's a yarn show held in Munich at the end of November, and I bought tickets. So if you are there and you're seeing me, just come up and say hello. It's a scary thought for me, but well, I don't think that there will be anyone who's watching, but wouldn't it be nice? So I bought tickets for both days. It's on the 30th of November and the 1st of December. And I will be there from Friday to Tuesday in Munich to see also the sightseeing places. And I expect there will be the Christmas market. So if you're watching this and you want to meet up, then drop me a note. Munich Knits. And that's the website. There you go. Now, there's another along, not a knit along, it's a crochet along. And I believe that's starting in October as well. The first clue, that is, the requirements for it, I have some fluff on my lip, sorry. The requirements for this is already out. And I've assigned the yarn. I've bought some yarn. It's acrylic yarn because it's a blanket. It's a Christmas blanket by Black Sheep Yarn. You can, if you are in the UK, you can buy a kit from them. It's only £23, which is ridiculous. It's very cheap, I would say. So a good bargain, let me say it like this. The pattern is free, and I've bought Stylecraft yarn. They have another yarn which I don't get here, so I just bought the required yarn here in different colors. It's a blanket, as I said, and the whole blanket will be looking like a patchwork blanket, like parcels with a little bow, with light background. And that's my background color. It might look white, but it's actually a silvery color. In fact, the colorway, the shade is 1807, which is called A Hint of Silver. So that's my main color, the background color. And I'm going to put up a photo here of all the colors which are going to be in my blanket. There are 2 original kits which you can buy from them. I do believe that they are also sending worldwide, but you might find it cheaper and more environmentally friendly to buy something local. So I will put a photo up here of all the colors. I'm going for the traditional colorways. There is also like a more modern bang-in-your-eye colorway, although I think the colors are already quite festive. Now, the only things which I can show you are knitted items which I bought, and I haven't bought any of those. They are all coming from France, as it happens to be. And I've shown you last time a Stephen West shawl. Well, I think it is a Stephen West shawl design, and I went to the same maker and bought a few things from her. First of all, Katharina, if you're looking, please look away, because this is for you. This is for my work colleague, the one to whom I gave a shoulder shawl all these years ago. We are now again colleagues since the beginning of the year, which is really nice. And it's her birthday on the 10th of October, and I got her a cowl. So it's just plain knitting with a bit of pearl rich in a cotton yarn. So this is plain enough for her style, I believe. She's not plain at all, but she's classy. That's what I mean. So I hope that she will like it. And it's cotton yarn, so it won't be anything scratchy around her neck. So that's one thing I bought. Then my brother-in-law, his niece is pregnant with a little baby boy, and he's going to come in December, I believe. So I bought a little something. What's it called? A baby bib. Also made out of cotton. I think that's really cute. She wanted €7 for this. So I can't even, I mean, come on. I'm loving this. So I bought this for the little baby boy who's going to come in December. Just gifting ideas. Maybe if you are still looking for Christmas gifts or gifts in general, then it might be worth looking for other makers who are destashing their projects or who are sharing their projects just because they can. Also from the same maker. I haven't told you her name, have I? Should I? She was selling another shawl, a West Knits shawl, and this is a Vertices Unite, the small version, and isn't it gorgeous? I wanted to make this one for ages, and I've started making it, and I came as far as this. This is what my shawl was, the extent of this little triangle, and then I ripped it all back. And I will make one eventually, but I saw this and the price, again, it's ridiculous. I couldn't even buy the yarn for it. So that's a Vertices Unite. Isn't it gorgeous? I can't get over it. Yeah, so this might just be for myself. I am now just like, I'm collecting yarn and I'm collecting Stephen West shawls, so it seems. Because this one was actually from a maker in Lithuania. And I could give you the name of this design, but it does look like another Stephen West shawl. Let me know if you know the design name. I think it's gorgeous. I just don't know yet how to wear it, probably with a shawl needle or something, because this part is very short compared to this part. Again, I just couldn't resist. Beautiful. Yeah. I'm not trying to make you feel uncomfortable. I just enjoy the beauty of the design, the beauty of the makes. And I know that I couldn't do this, at least not at this stage. I'm just not good enough with knitting. But with crochet, maybe I could do something looking similar in crochet. Now, are you ready for another one? Because we talked about the mystery knit along, which will come this year. Go Go Dynamo. Last year's was called Twists and Turns. And yes, I did make my own one. I did. No, it wasn't last year's. Twists and Turns was the year before. Last year's was that thing with a square in the middle, which we all made our individual versions of it. And no, it was 2022 Twists and Turns, and I made mine in orange, burgundy, light pink. You saw me dancing with it. I can put up a little video snippet out of it here. Anyhow, I saw that someone in France was selling theirs for 50 euros. And let me tell you, the kits are over 100 euros, just the yarn. And it's not finished and done then. And look at that. That's from a French maker. I will put her name up here. And this is Twists and Turns by Westnitz. I'm loving it. I think it has a very Halloween themed feel to it. Maybe Beetlejuice. Maybe because of these stripes here. Makes me think of spiderwebs and Beetlejuice. I am not going to say it for the third time. Just to be sure. Okay, so now that's the Twist and Turns. And look at these braids. Beautiful. 50 euros. I'm yet looking for, what's it called? A star. This brioche design with a star in the middle. I can't remember. I do have a slip extravaganza from a maker in Kazakhstan. But the same maker who sold me the Twists and Turns also had for 50 euros. Yes, I had some spare money. We're not talking about money here. We're talking about beautiful yarn things. She also sold her slip extravaganza. It's very light. The colors are purple, pink, like a very light green and a gray. Is this slip extravaganza? Maybe I'm mixing up my Stephen West shawls by now. Yeah, so that's the end of today's shawl show. This is very beautiful as well. I mean, look at it. If you were going to make yourself a Stephen West shawl, which design would it be? Which shawl? Nothing else to tell you, except that I could tell you a little bit about life at the moment. It's very autumnal out there. The jays and the squirrels are racing each other for the acorns, and it's still warm. The leaves are still mainly green, but you get lots of spider webs at the moment. And I feel like going for walks around the forest. I'm living very close to a forest. I've posted videos of my walks before, and it's just these cobwebby sweater weather walks with the light being lower than usual and the trees making long shadows. and it's days for stories and my favorite season, really. But also it's the time of a year for me to cat sit. And not only the cat of my neighbor, you've seen him a couple of times, he's a very old guy, not the neighbor, the cat. It's the old cat with a bite mark in his ear, the hole in the ear, a little pirate cat. And I am looking after him now and then. But also my sister and my brother-in-law asked me to cat sit their cat for the next 10 days. And Holly is needs more attention. She is used to being played with, and she's actually used to walking on a leash. You've seen her before. I must say, she's a little bit heavy. She could do with some trimming, not like she could do with a bit of doing sports, just like me. And she usually doesn't come to me for cuddles, but this morning she showed signs of knowing who's going to give her the food and all these things. So yeah, we're getting closer every day, and by the end of the 10 days she will probably want to cuddle with me, but then it's time to go home. Yeah, I think I will wrap this up for now. I hope that you are enjoying your weekend, the rest of it that is, and that you're going to have a good start into next week. And if you're not watching it right away, but sometime in the following years, then I still wish the same to you. Have a great day, enjoy your crafting, and I'm going to see you soon again. Bye!